Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. So just recently, there was a young lady, I believe she's 26 years old at the moment, took to TikTok to allege, and y'all know I have to say alleged, right? To allege that Sage the Gemini awarded her at a party at Chris Brown's house back when she was 18 years old. She also alleged that Chris Brown R-worded her friend who was 16 at the time at this same party that they were attending together. Once again, y'all, I know I have to say allegedly, alleged. Now, I am aware of the fact that there are quite a few people who do like to hang around Chris Brown, and my feelings about that is birds of a feather often do flock together. I didn't say this before. Not everybody is lying. Where there's smoke, there's fire. There have been a plethora of lawsuits that have already been filed on Chris Brown for these same particular things. There was, to my understanding, one young lady who was trying to screw with him, if I'm not mistaken, and she had went there consensually but tried to get him in trouble, I guess because things didn't go the way that she wanted him to. But the other individuals who filed lawsuits, it was not allegedly consensual, but people try to use that one instance to say that all the others were lying, which I think is very heinous. It's very disgusting. You don't get to sit up and say your favorite celebrity who you worship is innocent because one person lied, when there's, again, tens of women allegedly who came out and said that he did XYZ. And that he's also been known for a behavior of abuse. And we're not talking about Rihanna. We're talking about the both men and women he's been known to put hands on. Allegedly. This young lady was talking about the lawsuits with Diddy. And I quote, "They finally got Diddy. They finally got him. But the thing is, there's so many more men out there just like Diddy who are abusers who use their fame to lure women in and abuse them." End quote. And we know that this is the truth. We know that there are a lot of celebrities who will use that fame, that money, that power to lure young women and young men in to abuse them. And they know that a lot of these people, these young people especially, who are very impressionable, who are very still immature minded, they're not going to think, "Oh, I should probably go say something about what happened." They're going to be thinking, "Oh, I just want to impress this celebrity. I just want them to like me and accept me, to validate me because I like them. I saw them on TV. I saw them in this movie, in this music video. They make my favorite music. I just want to make them happy. I just want to satisfy them." And they will put themselves being taken advantage on the back burner for these celebrities. And that's if they even realize what happened to them was them being taken advantage of to begin with. Because that's another aspect. You never know what happens or what has happened to these young people, to these people in general. They might have been conditioned to think that abuse is acceptable or that abuse is not abuse. There are really some people who have been abused and they don't know it because they haven't had people around them that love them enough to tell them this is abuse. Stay away from these kind of people. If somebody is doing this to you, it's not right. No matter what they try to tell you, even if you can't get away from them at the moment or get help at the moment, know that this is not supposed to be happening to you. Now, once again, I have to say a plethora of allegedlys because this has not been proven in the court of law. She just came out on TikTok and made these videos accusing and making these allegations. She said that she feels like it would have been hypocritical of her to tell other women, to encourage other women to speak out about what happened to them, identify their abuser, and come out and let everybody know what that person did if she wasn't willing to take that step as well. Once again, it's a courageous step to take. You've got to be courageous because it's very hard. There's a lot that you have to deal with that people don't think about. And that's why she's saying that she decided to come out and do this, allegedly. Once again, she's also alleging that during this party, her 16-year-old friend who she was there with was also R-worded by Chris Brown. Once again, I would not be surprised at this point. After everything we've seen, after all we know about these celebrities, nobody should be surprised if it turns out that this is all the truth. Like I said, I have to say that because of the obvious reasons. None of this should come as a surprise. It's just especially disturbing because, again, if this is the truth, then that would mean that he messed her over when she was barely legal, which is still unacceptable and disgusting, and that the other one messed her friend over when she wasn't legal. Again, wouldn't come as a surprise to me, though. She also stated, and I quote, "All of these men, all these abusers, they hang out together," end quote. Once again, birds of a feather flock together, and even if that wasn't the case, why in the world would somebody hang out with someone who they know has X amount of cases concerning the R word that have been filed against them? People want to act like all these women are lying, that all these people are lying, but at some point, did it not occur to you, maybe I shouldn't be around this person or associate with this person because not all of them have to be lying. There's got to be some truth somewhere. And I don't want people to think that I am also associated with that, but people will if you associate with that particular person. Do people not think of these things? Anyways, she also stated that after what happened, he made her sign a paper, basically stating that everything that had happened was consensual. There are other people who have stated that in the industry, people make people do stuff like this. They know a lot of the legal stuff, even at the surface level, that a lot of the regular people, regular Janes and Joes don't know, because we don't go around assaulting people and then making them sign documents that they don't know. And basically kind of giving them undertones that we might do something if they don't do it. They know a lot about this stuff. There were industry insiders that were saying that people go around assaulting people at parties and then making them sign documents that they don't know. Like I said, still maybe possibly threatening some of these people. Well, you better do it. You want to get home, don't you? You want me to come after you or your family? You better sign that paper. Or they try to convince them or manipulate them. Or, well, it was consensual. You came here, so, you got to sign this paper. It's celebrity stuff. That's what you got to do. Ain't no telling what they be telling these people, what they be doing behind closed doors after they do their dirt. Once again, there are people who have come out and confirmed that this kind of stuff does actually happen. Allegedly. Y'all know I have to say allegedly, right? Now, his response, because I guess people were telling him to turn off his comments, his response to her saying this, making these allegations, and to the people who told him to turn off his comments was, and I quote, "I ain't turning nothing off. LOL. Only people she not lying to is the police because they don't give out careers. Hashtag find a new hustle." End quote. Let's talk about that first, because he made another statement that I thought was pretty disturbing. Let's talk about that one first, though. So, once again, we have to say allegedly. Although if what this young lady is saying is the truth, if there's any way that she can prove it, even if she can't prove it, and that there's any way that this is the truth, the fact that he would sit up and have this kind of a nonchalant post about this young lady accusing him of this, laugh out loud, really? Concerning a woman who is accusing you of R-wording her when she was barely legal and then forcing her to sign a document saying that it was consensual, there's nothing funny about that. There's nothing nonchalant about that. He should really be taking this seriously. And chalking her, accusing him up to getting a career, to trying to hustle him out of some money, it's pretty messed up. Once again, if it turns out to be true, that's going to make him look even more inhumane and awful. That he not only did this allegedly, but then tried to make her look like she was lying. And there are already people taking to the internet mocking her, making fun of her. And I'm so glad that some people they have the courage, and some people they've gotten to the point where they don't care. Because when it comes to getting their justice, no idiot, no person without a pot to piss in, nor when to throw it out, is going to make them feel bad about what they know happened. And I'm glad for that for them. Because at some point in time, the people have to be named. The people who did their dirt have to be named. They have to be called out. Once again, y'all know I have to say allegedly because nothing has been proven in the court of law at the moment. These are just allegations. The other statement that he made that I found very disturbing and messed up, and I quote, "When I ruptured my patellar tendon, I called emergency services same day," end quote. First of all, chalking up an injury that you sustained doing, I don't know, whatever you were doing whenever you sustained it, to somebody, accusing somebody of R-wording them, not the same thing. Whenever you injured yourself, nobody took to the internet and said, "Well, I don't feel sorry for you." Nobody did that to you. You did it to yourself. You injured yourself. So boo-hoo, go somewhere else. We don't care. People believed you. When you went to the hospital, they didn't say, "Oh, we think you're lying. Get out of our faces." Like you're just trying to get clout and attention. Go away. You were able to provide proof. They took an x-ray. They ran tests. They're like, "Oh, he did actually injure himself." There was proof there that you could give to people to show them that you did actually get injured. People believed you. You were able to get the help you needed. You were able to pay for it because you could afford to. That's what the difference is. The fact that he would even compare the two, again, it's the nonchalance for me. It's disturbing. That's why I'm questioning him. No, it's not the same thing. You getting injured, yes, it's messed up, but being R-worded is a traumatic experience that some people cannot even move past, especially when it has just happened. So you're saying that if she was R-worded, she should have came out immediately and named you as the person who did it, and that's the same as that's the same pain as going through you rupturing your patellar. I don't think so. It's not the same thing. By leagues, it's very different. And again, I'm questioning him for even trying to compare the two. This is one thing that I also don't like, people trying to compare their very surface level pain to being R-worded. Your patellar healed. People who have been R-worded and abused and assaulted, brutalized, they don't always heal. They don't always make it past it. They still have to carry that trauma into the rest of their lives. So he's raggedy, like I said, for even trying to compare the two. Another thing that she mentioned was that one of the reasons why, if I'm not mistaken, that she went ahead and signed the agreement, whatever he was trying to get her to sign, is because she did not drive herself to that party, if I'm not mistaken. She was afraid of how he would respond if she confronted him about what happened, and that he wouldn't bring her back home or have a ride arranged for her to go back home. That's another thing that people got to be mindful of. This is why I'm a firm believer in, if you can't take yourself there, don't go there. And I'm not like victim shaming or victim blaming. That's one of the first ways that they try to control people and use that against women. Well, if you don't do X, Y, Z, I'm going to make sure you never get home. Good luck walking back to where you got to go. And that's very cruel. It's very messed up. But you got to be very careful where you go and who you go with, because some people, they will use that. And it's sad that you can't just trust people to be decent. We don't live in a perfect world where you can say, hey, pick me up and drop me off here, and you can trust them not to hold that against you. That's why I'm one of those type of people. I always like to cover my behind. If I ain't got a ride there myself, who I can trust to get me there and back, I ain't coming. Because what you will not do is get me over there and then try to put me in a compromising position to try and make me do something I don't want to do, that I'm not consenting to, and then use that to hold it over my head. Although, again, for the people in the back who might misconstrue what I'm trying to say, I'm not blaming her. I'm holding him accountable, because if this is the case, if this is true, if what she's saying is true, like I said, we have to say allegedly, but if what she's saying is true and he paid for her to get a ride there, arranged for her to be brought there, he should have been man enough and gentlemanly enough to make sure she got back home. I don't care if she said, I don't want to have sex with you, and you got mad. The least you could do is make sure she got back home. You not getting your way or getting what you really wanted her for, what you brought her there for, should not interfere with you being a decent man. And people have gotten beside themselves where it comes to etiquette when you're inviting somebody to your house. Even if it wasn't his house, if he was at Chris Brown's house, you invite somebody over to somewhere, you are directly responsible for what happens to them, as long as they're with you. You brought them over there. You need to make sure they get back where they came from safely. Now, after that, that's their responsibility. But if you got them somewhere, if you invited them somewhere, if you're hosting something, you are responsible for those people. I don't care what anybody says. Like I said, people have gotten beside themselves where it comes to etiquette and responsibility concerning other people. Now, there are a lot of people who were supporting her in the comments. There was also somebody who brought up what she had said at one point in the video that I want to mention now. This young lady in the TikTok comments said, and I quote, "My heart broke when you said you should have never been at that house. Girl, you should never have been harmed no matter where you go, period. I'm sorry this happened and I'm so proud of you now," end quote. Once again, if this is all true, two wrongs don't make a right. I also hate this culture of, well, she shouldn't have been there, as if that would co-sign or justify some guy R-wording her. We can sit up and talk about where she should or should not have been. Once again, when you are inviting people to your house, it is your responsibility to act accordingly towards them. You don't invite people who are barely of the age of consent, who you know are going to go over there because of who you are. Then when something happens, says, oh, well, you shouldn't have been over there. No, that's not how this works. You shouldn't have been mishandling them. That's what people need to be saying. Once again, I am saying that we ought to be careful where we go, who we associate with. Be careful whose houses we're going to, so to speak. Although there are some people, maybe they didn't know that these celebrities were like this. That's another thing people don't think about. They like to say, oh, why were you over there? But not one of these raggedy behind individuals will ask, Why these grown behind men, these grown behind celebrities keep inviting children to their houses to parties. Why are they constantly throwing parties where they are inviting children over there to party and sleep with them? People will really sit up and ask children. Like I said, 18-year-olds are still very child-minded. And those under 18, why were they at certain parties? Why they were at certain places, but won't ask the adults who were drawing them there why they were drawing them there. Why these adults can't seem to surround themselves with mature adults. That's pretty suspect if you ask me, on the part of these celebrities and the people who keep talking about the children, saying why didn't the children do this, that, and the other, and not questioning these raggedy behind celebrities and these adults. Somebody in the TikTok comments said, and there were multiple other people that were saying this as well, and I quote, having paperwork means this was planned, end quote. The fact that he even had, allegedly, some papers for her to sign, like right off the rip after this happened, means that he had intentions on doing this. It wasn't no accident. Like people like to say, you don't just accidentally assault somebody or hurt somebody's daughter or son. This was intentional, allegedly, if what she's saying is true. I done told y'all before, some of these celebrities are wrapped up in some ungodly stuff, so much so that they don't even find pleasure in having sex normally. They will resort to brutality and acts of brutality during sex to get off. That includes R-wording people, taking it without consent, spiking people's drinks. How many celebrities have to be called out and have lawsuits filed against them for us to realize and then accept that this is unfortunately what happens in the industry? This is a common theme at these industry parties. Some of these children that they be inviting intentionally to these parties don't even be knowing. They're just looking at these celebrities through the eyes of their stardom, their star power. They don't be wanting to think that their favorite celebrity could be even capable of something that they could not fathom. That's how they get some of these people. They don't think that these celebrities are capable of this. And that's how they get some of these people, some of these children. Because an 18-year-old, as far as I'm concerned, is still a child. Yes, they are technically, legally an adult, but mentally, they are still a child, which makes them easier to prey upon. Now there's somebody else in the comments who mentioned, and I quote, you signed that document under duress, end quote. Once again, these are all allegations. Y'all know I have to say allegedly, right? That's going to become one of my catchphrases. If you haven't noticed by now, if she's telling the truth and he did this to her, she signed that document under duress, which means technically it's null and void. Whenever somebody's looming over you saying, so you're going to sign the document, right? You're going to sign it, right? Whenever they are verbally or mentally manipulating you or threatening you into signing it, if they have emotionally manipulated you, oh, well, you care about me, don't you? You don't want me to get in trouble, do you? I thought you were cool. I thought we were cool. Okay, fine, I'll sign it. No, they didn't sign it intentionally. They didn't even know what they were signing. Anyways, as I've said before, I had to say a whole lot of if she said this and if this is true, allegedly, accusation, this, that, and the other, because we have to do that on YouTube, obviously. This hasn't been proven in a court of law. Of course, whenever people come forward with allegations, we don't want to just throw them under the bus. We also can't say that what they're saying is the gospel truth once again because we don't have the proof. But I've said this before multiple times in videos on this channel that I am a person who takes this kind of stuff very seriously. So if there's somebody who is making allegations, once again, we've said allegedly, and if what she's saying is true, although we have to still address and talk about what's going on and also warn other people, young women, young men about what goes on in the industry. And not just in the industry, but regular places, point blank, period. Which is why I mentioned what I did earlier about if you can't get there yourself, you don't need to go. There's somebody right now who could be listening who needed to hear that because they didn't know. They didn't have parents or people around them to tell them what to do, how to conduct yourself, situations, how to, navigate. Now, you can't control everything. Sometimes we get put in situations we didn't ask for. Things happen that are out of our control. Although, like I said before, it is imperative to warn people. Let them know what is out there, what is going on. Anyways, y'all let me know what y'all think about all of this down in the comments below respectfully. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Y'all all have a very blessed, beautiful, and safe day.